I bought a big brake kit.
Okay.
That's what happens when you buy a cheap brake kit. It was not AP racing, but it was still, I mean, it was fairly expensive kit, but it was not, I think it was not compatible with my uh,
Fine.
brake cylinder.
Cylinder. Okay.
So I think up to 200, 210, it was braking just fine,
Huh.
which I tested while coming to the track. Brand new brakes, brand new brakes, big brake kit, 6 piston brake.
Okay.
And first lap I warmed up my car. Second lap, back straight, I went to 245, 248 kph, the gantry, that's where I used to lift off and start braking. 245, I lifted off, pressed the brakes, the pedal went straight in. I lost 0 kilometer in that. And now I have this whole thing recorded from 3 cameras. My helmet camera, a GoPro over here, a camera over on the windscreen. Okay. Now in my, what am I doing now? First thing I said, oh shit, no brakes. Okay. Then I pull the e-brake
Okay.
on my S4. Nothing, because there's no brake pressure. And then third, I take the car, I put it in the Scandinavian brake, put the car sideways, and then basically start losing a lot of momentum because of sideway motion.
Okay.
And running through the gravel trap sideways. You lose a lot of momentum through that. So the idea was the fuel is for high, they said the fuel is for high compression engine.
Okay.
And here you are, first of all, the car you're putting, a Skoda, who put this kind of fuel in a Skoda? High compression equals to expensive car. That's what he meant.
I see.
In the comment section. And there was a big, he mentioned the compression ratio of Skoda Laura VRS, which is I think 9.6:1. Until that point, I also did not know.
Okay.
I searched the compression ratio of 765 LT.
McLaren. Okay.
McLaren 765 LT. I said that's expensive enough. That's fast enough. If you cannot use this fuel in that car, then what's the point of you even making this fuel? The compression ratio of 765 LT was, I think, 8.709 is to 1. So Laura had a higher compression ratio than a 765 LT.
Okay.
I'll tell you a very desi myth, which is people think high octane means more fire, more combustion. Yes, it is kind of more combustion, but it's not more heat.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want that high octane fuel. I don't want to stress my system that much.
Okay.
You're not stressing your system. High octane has a cooling effect. Remember when I said it's letting that compression stroke get completed and only firing it when it's required by the ECU.
So, we were just talking about track day advice that you would like to give to people who are already probably going on track days, or more than that, people who are wanting to go on track days.
Yeah. See, one thing people, again, I'll come back to the same thing, brakes. You start feeling the brakes go pretty early on. Or if your system is not bled properly, if the air is not completely gone from your system. So first few times you're going to brake from a very high speed down to 60, 70. You'll know what is a travel of your pedal is. Most people get that thing wrong and they end up in a wall.
Okay.
So it's your brake starts fading a lot earlier. It starts at least showing signs of brake fade or a pedal getting softer and spongier much earlier on. So these are subtle signs to be picked up much early on. Then to keep pushing for another lap.
Okay.
Normally the advice, the way I used to do it used to be one hot and one cool down lap back in a day.
Okay.
Then I got to one hot lap because as my driving was improving, I wanted more time to recuperate, like just let everyone go by. Normally I used to be the fastest car back in the day.
Okay.
Everyone used to be slower. So first of all, I need to create space for myself.
Okay. Sorry to cut you in the middle. What was your fastest time on track, BIC?
I have done 223 in my S4,
Okay.
which old layout
Okay.
on a very, very, very cheap tires.
Okay.
I'm talking about 9,000 rupees per corner tire. That cheap. I've done 223 on that.
Okay.
My fastest time has been 216
Okay.
in a 911 turbo. My friends, that was me taking his car out first time ever. So my second lap was 218, my third lap was 216,
Okay.
and then I came in.
Okay.
That was my fastest time, 216.
Okay.
In
So,
a 911 turbo.
got it. So, continue.
So yeah, so you start feeling the brakes go
Huh.
a lot sooner. So this happened with my friend's car. I had so much experience with brakes
Huh.
because I did so many track days, and brakes are not always in top shape all the time.
Okay.
So yeah, so I had one of his R8s.
Huh.
I did 221
Huh.
and then did another lap. There were no brakes.
Oh my
Back straight, pressed the brakes. There was nothing.
The pedal just went down.
It just went down. So then I had a checklist back in a day to what I normally do. Is basically I use handbrake.
Okay.
This anyone can do this. There'll be either handbrake. Just pull the handbrake and keep the steering straight because your rear brake still has some pressure.
Okay.
So that you can use.
Okay.
If there is no proper handbrake, then you can just keep the e-brake का जो switch है pulled up and keep your steering straight. That will also work. Just keep it pressed. Just keep it pulled.
That works?
That works.
Okay.
If you read the manual, it works. I think I read it, that's why I tried it.
Okay.
So this is the checklist of brake failure
Okay.
on the back straight.
Okay.
So brake, shit, no brake, hand brake. You pull it, let's see if something is there. But the R8 when I put it, I just pulled the handbrake and threw it in a Scandi flick and just tried to drift my way. So basically went into sideway momentum and tried to use the track.
That's presence of mind.
Yeah, I have a video. I have few videos
Okay.
of me doing all this. I had a crash as well actually.
In an R8?
No, I had a crash in my S4.
Oh my god.
Was
it bad?
It was a bad crash. It was my first lap. So I knew all the preparation. I bought a big brake kit.
Okay.
That's what happens when you buy a cheap brake kit. It was not AP Racing, but it was still, it was fairly expensive kit, but it was not, I think it was not compatible with my brake cylinder.
Okay.
So I think up to 200, 210, it was braking just fine, which I tested while coming to the track. Brand new brakes, brand new brakes, big brake kit, 6-piston brake.
Okay.
And first lap I warmed up my car. Second lap, back straight, I went to 245, 248 kph, the gantry, that's where I used to lift off and start braking. 245, I lifted off, pressed the brakes, the pedal went straight in. I lost 0 kilometer in that. In my, what am I doing now? First thing, I said, oh shit, no brakes. Okay. Then I pulled the e-brake on my S4. Nothing, because there's no brake pressure. And then third, I take the car, I put it in the Scandinavian flick, put the car sideways. And then basically start losing a lot of momentum because of sideway motion and running through the gravel trap sideways. You lose a lot of momentum through that. Banged into the Tech Pro barriers at I think about 75, 80 kph.
Okay.
Damaged my car aesthetically.
Okay.
Just the door, rear door, front door and fender. Nothing much. Still drove the car back. It was fine. But that's how much like I was telling you, I had many incidents with brakes.
My God.
This is the only time when, you know, like I had no pressure. Every single time I knew when the brake fade is coming, and now I must be extra careful if I want to push it. So I had the warning. That's what I'm saying. You get the warnings a lot sooner. Except in in my car case, it was brand new brake, first lap. There was no stress on the thing. It was just the wrong setup.
So then after that, wow, okay. So after that, then did you change the cylinder or the entire kit then?
I threw it. I threw the kit.
The full kit,
I threw the whole kit.
obviously.
I threw the whole kit and I got my original brakes installed.
OEM.
OEM. Then I put the new pads in.
Okay, so that works
Because
just
yes,
fine.
they work better. Like I'm saying, you know, every car enthusiast out there should invest in good pads because good pads really pays off.
But how
They
come
have a
you
temperature range
Huh.
that you'll know once you get into this thing.
But how come you didn't buy good rotors then along with it?
I want to, but I want to get a very good one because after that I just got very scared.
Of course.
You know,
Obviously.
like it's first lap, first warm up lap.
हाँ,
And
उसके बाद तो
you-
वो गैंट्री का गेट आपको यमराज का दरवाजा जैसा लग रहा
I
होगा.
did a Vento Cup after that. I did a Vento Cup 2 months later. 2 months later, in a car, no ABS, no traction control. Traction control, so anyway I switch it off, right? And I'm going grandstand, first lap in my in Vento Cup car. Press the brakes, the car totally tails
Spun.
out, spuns, and that was my confidence shattered for that weekend. I gained it during the race.
Okay.
I qualified really bad, but I gained all the confidence during the race. I think I overtook 6 or 7 cars in lap 1. After that, I got stuck.
Okay.
So all these things happened together. No, but I'm pretty confident. I have done many laps after that.
Of course, I think you
But
have.
yeah, that time it was very alarming. You know, like you go with so much expectation and barely put any stress on the brakes. You have nursed them to the track, and here you come for your first corner, and there is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, see, honestly, boss, I think क्या होता है ना एक like I'm into off-roading. 6 महीने से नहीं करी वो बात अलग है, but काफ़ी ठीक ठाक करी है. तो उसमें मतलब एक वो होता है ना कि जो लोग कहते हैं कि जब तक आप एक्सट्रीम ऑफ रोड करते हुए 5-7 बार 10 बार आपकी गाड़ी 5-7 बार टॉपल नहीं करेगी एक्सट्रीम ऑफ रोड, नॉट रैलिंग, स्लो स्पीड एक्सट्रीम ऑफ रोड, तब तक आपके अंदर से वो डर निकलेगा नहीं और आपको समझ में भी नहीं आएगा कि मेरे को करना क्या है.
Yeah.
तो आई थिंक एक फेज होता है कि आप मान लो अभी तक आप टॉपल नहीं करे तो इनिशियली आप ऑफ रोडिंग करना शुरू करते हो तो फुल जोश होता है तो कुछ भी गाड़ी कर लेगी, आप करते हो. फिर आपका एक बार टॉपल होता है तो आपके मन में एक डर बैठ जाता है कि यार नहीं अब मुझे ध्यान से करना है, अब नहीं करना. तो वो आई थिंक आपके बाद आपके साथ 5-7 बार ये एपिसोड जैसे हो गए विच इज़ वाई नाउ यू नो योर शिट.
Yeah, no, मेरे डर वाले एपिसोड पहले हो चुके थे. Imagine crashing a friend's R8. The first incident I was telling you, imagine that. Your car too is fine. Imagine someone gave you the car, go take it around the track. Who gives, first of all, right? You do smashing time, amazing time, the next lap you crash a car. So I gained all the confidence I need to gain before I actually lost all the confidence in the first corner.
Okay, so coming back to the part where we were talking about the fuel tests that you did back in the day and even like very recently, I clearly remember your Instagram and you also talking about it कि किसी इंडियन ऑयल का बंदा डायरेक्टली था या उन्होंने किसी को वहाँ पे प्लांट किया था.
No. IOCL, first of all, IOCL got interested because it got over 1 million views. A lot of people were tagging IOCL in comment section. So, I think it was, I'm assuming, I am not sure, but there was this general idea flowing into this comment section. I think there are like 2,000 comments or something. I'm not sure. Something of that sorts. Lot of comments. That, this fool who is doing this fuel test is burning the fuel in a flask. And, these fuels are supposed to be combusted in a high compression. Only then they will be burned. So the idea was the fuel is for high. They said the fuel is for high compression engine.
Okay.
And here you are, first of all, the car you're putting, a Skoda, who put this kind of fuel in a Skoda? Skoda is a low compression engine.
तो उसके हिसाब से स्पोर्ट्स कार होनी पड़ेगी. उसको लग रहा है कि हाई कंप्रेशन
High compression equals to expensive car. That's what he meant.
I see.
In the comment section. And there was a big, he mentioned the compression ratio of Skoda Laura VRS, which is I think 9.6 is to 1. Until that point, I also did not know.
Okay.
I know all turbo engines are low compression, but he mentioned the compression ratio.
Okay.
And I was like, and there were so many likes. Top comments the comment gets, it comes up like an oil into water through, it comes up. And I was like, how do I just, reply to this? And I searched the compression ratio of 765 LT.
McLaren.
McLaren 765 LT. I said, that's expensive enough. That's fast enough. If you cannot use this fuel in that car, then what's the point of you even making this fuel? The compression ratio of 765 LT was, I think, 8.7 or 9 is to 1. So Laura had a higher compression ratio than a 765 LT.
Okay.
So I was like, are you saying that your fuel is not compatible for any turbocharged sports car of modern times? The only cars which are 11 considered a high compression ratio would be what old Honda S2000s and Civics with any engine. And those cars are no more, they're a dinosaur. You're probably burning them in your car right now. So the whole argument just fell on its face.
My God.
It was a very stupid argument, but it sounded serious in the comment section, and that's why it got so many likes. And now I do
sounded serious.
I do keep getting these notifications on my Instagram saying one like in every 5-6 days of my comment. So my comment is now slowly rising up.
हाँ, पता तो चलेगा ये लोगों को. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So on that, I want to ask you one question about, I personally feel that people are living under multiple myths about high octane fuel. मैं सुनता रहता हूँ इधर उधर. But I think you would already know what kind of myths people have about high octane fuel. So could you elaborate on 2-3 of them?
Yeah.
Or should I say, could you clarify those myths?
Yeah, I'll tell you a very desi myth, which is people think high octane means more fire, more combustion. Yes, it is kind of more combustion, but it's not more heat.
Okay.
That's what people think. It's more heat. It's more stress onto the system. That will be more specific. Oh, I don't want that high octane fuel. I don't want to stress my system that much.
Okay.
You're not stressing your system. High octane has a cooling effect. Remember when I said it's letting that compression stroke get completed and only firing it when it's required by the ECU.
Okay.
The way that spark programming was done to your car.
Okay.
And if you don't have high octane fuel in a car which requires high octane fuel, let's say if you have a 911 turbo or anything which requires around 98 RON to run optimally. 98 RON in a very moderate temperatures. I'm not talking about Indian heat with 40 degrees, 50 degrees outside.
Okay.
98 RON then at like 25, 26 degree ambient.
Okay.
Now you put, let's say, XP95, which is 95 octane. What is your car doing to compensate for that 3 or 4 less octane? It's dumping more fuel into the combustion chamber to provide that cooling effect.
Oh.
Yeah. So your economy goes for a toss, because now you're burning more fuel to keep the combustion chamber cool enough.
I think you just answered one of my questions which I have been thinking about for the past year and a half since I bought the Wrangler. उस पे ना 95 रॉन लिखा है. अब मुझे पता नहीं कि अभी मैं तो उसमें रेगुलर पेट्रोल डाल रहा हूँ. And the damn thing is giving a fuel efficiency of not more than 5.8 kilometers per liter.
Okay, one more myth I'd like to clarify.
Please.
Sorry to cut you off.
Please.
I'll address it because this will get addressed once I. Regular is 95 RON. Regular is 95 RON. Okay. I cannot say this enough. Okay. People are not believing me.
Okay.
But it's fine. I told you I'd done a lot of testing with AVL. And I did back in a day.
Okay.
From the most random pumps in Bahadurgarh, you know, any pump, I did like 6-7 tests.
Okay.
I have the test reports. None of the fuels were below 94.3 regular.
Okay.
So regular fuel RON is 94, 95.
Okay.
After BS6, all regular is 95.
Okay.
So whatever XP95 is either not 95, either is more than 95.
Okay.
Or if it's 95, then they are taking more money out of you. As simple as that.
Oh, I see.
So for me, there are two fuels. There is regular fuel, which is 95, and then there are high-octane fuels.
Okay.
There are only two fuels in India.
Okay.
And that's the only difference. Rest in the middle, speed, extra premium, which has turned into XP95, speed has turned into speed 95, HP power has turned into power 95. They all are just using the same rebranding scheme used by Indian Oil.
Okay.
To rebrand their premium fuel. I think it has few extra additives, maybe cleaning agents or something, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't tested that fuel out. So that's one of the myths, biggest myth out there. So your regular is 95 RON. I spoke to someone yesterday in Bangalore, from Bangalore. He's just become my dealer.
Okay.
He has a Bharat Petroleum pump. And they only keep regular. He said we get sample report every 6 months. Yesterday saying, Eklavya, why it is 94.3? He asked me the same question. Because all regular is 95, 94. I am stating, we're quoting the same numbers. 94.3, I have shared this number and a report in track attacker groups like once or twice. And I've been saying it again that it's 94. Okay. Don't fall for XP95.
Okay.
So, yeah, now back to your Wrangler. Your car is running on 94.3, 95 RON.
Okay.
But given the road condition, on-road condition, the temperatures and etc., I like to keep my car above whatever the specified is, 2 to 3 octane extra to compensate. Okay. Yeah, in winters, in a very chilly weather, you can obviously go low on octane.
Okay.
Because what high temperature does is it increases your intake air temperature.
Right.
Whatever you're pulling in. The first stroke intake. So if your gases is going hot in, it's just maths, right? If it's 10 degrees hotter, the combustion chamber is also 10 degrees hotter.
Right.
Correct? And now you're compressing this also through a turbo, making it even hotter, and then putting it in.
Right.
So it's hotter. So that delta remains of outside temperature. So to compensate for that, the only way to do is high octane. That's the only way. Or you basically optimize the system. You mount your intake to a point where you get fresh air, ram air, mounted 5 stories up, get cooler air.
Snorkel laga diya or something like that. That's what.
Or you get a better cooling system. So all of this is to get your intake air temperature down.
And I think which is why you have deleted one of your headlights. I think.
Yeah, I always do that. I'm very.
That's for air fresh air intake.
So that headlight mount point was broken during that accident. Okay. I never repaired the mount because it takes me 1 second to take that headlight off. 1 second. I just go in, I take the coupler off, unfasten one nut, and the whole damn thing is out. So instead of taking the whole bumper off, to take the headlight off, so you see it gets transformed. I get this. Yeah, it just so I get like free 2-3 horsepower just by that effect.
Why not? I mean,
so I never repaired that. on purpose.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah,
So-
it's
Fun conversation, and I think now in the next conversation, whenever we do it, I'll have tons of more questions because आज काफी डिटेल में बात हुई है. I think मुझे तो लग रहा है मेरे लिए तो डिटेल है, but आपके लिए तो हो सकता है it's just the tip of the iceberg for now.
yeah. I mean, we can always go in more detail.
Perfect. So I think let's call it a day today because I think काफी already we've done about an hour and a half of conversation.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming today, and I think people will learn a lot out of a conversation with you. But thank you so much, Eklavya.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you.
Same here.